Welcome back to the Corey Bak'n Show. In today's episode, we're going to go over the veg corner. Over in the veg corner, we have the 2x2 tent, which is currently not being ran, and the 2x4 tent. And in here in the 2x4 is powered by these HLG lights, which is this one here is going out. So I'm getting ready to replace this one here. But we'll talk about more of that in a separate episode. As you can see, I'm gonna come up in here. You can see my diodes there are burning out. So this must be the driver, must be going bad. What I'm actually gonna do is take the driver off of this one since they're the same lights, switch it out and see if it caused the lights to come back on. If all the lights come back on, then I know it's the driver is the problem. And I'll just give me a new driver, because this is a pretty good light, especially here in veg. And I also use that same style light right over here. So, but that's what's going on there. You can see the light diodes out there. This one here, everything is running smooth. But I've had these lights for quite some time now. Out of all HLG lights that I've had, I've only had problems out of one of the other ones, and I think I own a total about 15 of these lights, actually. HLG, not all the same. This HLG lights. This is only the second one that I've had any problems with. But that's not a big deal. We'll get that corrected as we go on. But here today, we're here more for these plants down here in veg. It's only 5 plants down here in my veg tent. I normally have more than that, but we're running all the the other ones that were in here. They're either in flower or they're being flipped to flower in the next couple of days. And 2 of the tents, the 4x4 and the 2x2.5 behind the curtain tent that you have seen in different, there in its own separate episodes, excuse me. Some of those plants that are in there used to be in here with them. So, but they're being flipped to flower on June the 1st. And all the other tents that I have, they are laundry room grow and the 5x5, Grow Ace, Air Cube, Ebb and Flow system. They deeper in the flower. But also in this tent here, normally, now granted, I would be using this tent here for the the Growpeaceful Autoflower run. But since this tent here was pretty much empty, and it will be soon, because once that 5x5 tent is completed, these 5 plants here, I wish I had a 6th one. I might try to get a 6th plant from a friend of mine, get a cut from him and run. I want to run 6 plants in that tent again, but right now I only have these 5 here. And so I bought the Growpeaceful bucket over here, and going to run it in here, because I don't plan on taking cuts of anything and starting anything new going into the summer, because I'm going to be gone. And I think with all my tents up and running and flowering right now, plus with the outside grow that I got going on, I wanted them to be done before I started vacationing over the summer. So when my son, when I do go away, my son could just come over and take a look in the 5x5 air cube system and just take a peep in there, because it'll run itself. You know, it is a reservoir. Y'all seen, if you've been watching my videos, y'all seen how that's set up over there, where it has its own reservoir, and I'm changing it out every 5 to 7 days or so. So he can just have to come over here. I'm gonna be going on one of my trips. I'll be going for about 2 weeks. So he'll just have to come over here and change out the reservoir just at one time. And if it's growing if that run grows anything like the current run, we'll have no problem. We'll have no problems whatsoever. But that's enough of that stuff. Let me get into what I'm here for today. As I said, we have these 5 plants here, cuts, that are all doing fantastic. Let's go over the cuts right quick. I have a Funky Chapels Pheno number 1 right here. And she's looking great. Right next to her is the Sour Power right there. That's a Pheno number 1 also. Back there in that corner is a Granny Apple Fritters. Up here in the front This particular one here is Funky Chapel's number 3, pheno number 3, the sister of number 1. And this one here is just the Biscotti, man. So those are the 5 that will be ran in the next run of the Air Cube Everflow system. But yeah, the plants are all looking great. A couple of them are definitely starting to catch up. This one here, it went through a little trauma about a week or so ago. And this one all the way back here in the corner was just about gone. But now she is totally recovered and off to the races. And that's the Granny Apple Fritters. So they're looking good. Like I said, no issues. Excuse the camera work, trying to work and put these plants back. Need to spread them out just a little bit so the leaves aren't touching each other. Plants are growing so well that it's time to transplant these up to 1 gallon pots. They could have been out of here about a week ago, but I've been kind of busy. I'm also doing projects here in my house. As y'all know, I'm retired now, so my honeydew lush, got to get that taken care of. As well as taking care of my outside gardens, because I got a vegetable garden out there, and then now I have plants out there now too, 5 plants. Matter of fact, it's just pretty much cuts of everything that I just mentioned here. So those are all out there. Outside of the Biscotti, man, I don't think is out there. It's Pulp Fiction instead, but I think all of the other ones are outside also. But that's enough about that here. So let's slide over here and let's talk about the Growpeaceful. Over here in the Growpeaceful bucket, as you remember, I started this. Let me slide on down here so you can see. This is the next run of the Growpeaceful, the purple Biscotti. And as you can see the date on my tape, as I've talked to y'all about this before, I put a piece of tape in there, write the date that I put it in the soil, the date that it comes up out of the soil, and the projected end date down there. But as you can see, it was May the 10th. I put it in. It didn't make it up out of the soil, and correct that. Shouldn't have been the 16th. That should have been the 14th. By the 14th, it came up out of the soil, but then it stalled out. It didn't do anything. I think I have a picture of it, and I'm going to have it. If I do find it, I'm gonna pop it up on the screen so y'all can see it. But it came up out of the soil, and as a matter of fact, I'm sure I do have it because I sent a picture of it to Jeremy so he could see what had happened. Like I said, it popped up out of the soil, and it didn't get to it. I wouldn't even say a half inch. Maybe it came out a 1/4 of an inch up out of the soil. The condylative leaves, I can't pronounce that very well, but you know what I'm talking about if you've been growing. Those first sets of leaves that come out of there, not the true leaves, those first 2. They came up, and you could see where the true leaves were starting, and it just died off. So I had no success with that seed, so I let Jeremy know, and he was kind enough to send us a replacement, and that's what we have here. So this is again the purple Biscotti. You see the 1 seed in container that he sent it to me in. Let's go over the purple Biscotti right quick once again. THC 24%, flowering time as you can see 70 days. The aromas and flavors are fuel and grapes, and the genetic is indica lean. So we're gonna try this one more time. We're gonna drop this in the soil. As a matter of fact, let me pull this off. And we're gonna put some fresh tape on there with today's date. And today's date is the 28th, May the 28th. So let me put that on there real quick. We'll drop the seed in, and we'll bring this video to an end. All right, as you can see, I put some fresh tape on it with the day's date, May 28th. And we're gonna take the seed. I already made a hole in the top of the soil right there. And we're going to take the seed, it's still in the container there. Just pull the lid back, Drop her down in a hole. The hole is about 1/4 of an inch, not very much at all. And we're going to just take it. The soil is already not pre-soaking, but pre-wet. And I'm just going to take the little soil there, cover that up. I'm gonna squirt her with a little water, that spot there. And grab my spray bottle. Just hit it a couple times in that spot. Like I said, it was already pretty wet. So we'll wait. So it should be in the next, no more than 4 days, like the last one that was there. Should be up out of the soil. And once she pops up out of the soil, like I've told you in the past, all I'm going to do is take my tape that I have there with my marker. I'm going to put the date that it pops up out of the soil on a piece of tape right there. And then we can calculate, since this says here 70 days, we'll go from that date that it popped up, we'll count off 70 days, and that should be the end date. Now, granted, that's just an estimation. We're going to always do what we're supposed to. Use the trichomes as our guide to let us know when it's done. And that's what we'll be doing. We'll be, once we get to that point, we'll take a look at the trichome using my USB microscope, and we'll take a look at them together. Now, one more thing. As this girl gets to going, and I get her going and she gets some size on her, like I said, since I'm not taking any more cuts of anything and using this veg tent, I'm now going to just use this 2x4 for this Growpeaceful purple Biscotti. I'm going to throw a trellis net up on her once we get her going, and we're going to do some training to her this time. And granted, last time I ran, like I said to you, since they sent me the seed out, they said, hey, all you got to do is drop her in and just let her grow. All you got to do is water it. So that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to, which I did. I just put it in the soil, and that was the gigawatt. It started growing out. It grew up. I didn't do pretty much anything to it until we got deeper in the flower. Once I went on vacation, started having a couple problems. We did have to give it a little something, but that was also rectified because if you notice with this particular run here, the container is completely full of soil all the way up to the top. And when we did the gigawatt, it was about this top. I'm going to say 2 to 3 inches. We didn't have that soil for that particular run. Jeremy from Growpeaceful, they corrected the issue, and they this time sent out enough soil to fill up the whole container. So now this purple Biscotti should have more than enough nutrients to get her from the beginning to the end. So that's all I have for you on this week's episode of the Veg Corner. One more look over here at the veg plants, which are doing fantastic. Oh, one more thing I didn't even mention in this video. I know I'm kind of squeezing everything together. The Spider Farmer humidifier, the ultrasonic humidifier that I'm using here, it's fantastic. I did set a parameter on here. I got it set. I want the humidity to stay at least 85% in here. So I set that on the let me see if I can turn that on down there so you can see it. I think it's 80%, excuse me. It's 80% in there. It's 77 degrees, and that's only 77 because I have had this door open for a little while. But I got it set to 80%. I got it set at 80. It's 65 right now. Like I said, because the door has been open for a little while. But again, this humidifier runs fantastic. The plants are loving it. You see I got my hose running right there. It's particularly running right now. And the plants are actually loving it, especially where I have it sitting. Now the plants have gotten a little bigger in that particular one right there. When it starts dripping, it drips on that leaf, so I have to turn that a little bit there. But again, the humidifier is fantastic. It runs great, and we're going to keep running that girl right in here, right along with these 6 plants now, with soon to be 6 when this purple Biscotti pops up out of the soil and gets to going. And we will keep the humidifier running all the way until maybe the first week or so that she flips herself to flower. You know, the first, I'm gonna say 4 weeks, it'll be pretty much in veg, grow out, get her growth, get her size, flip herself to flower. Once she flips to flower, she stretches a little more. And then once the bud set starts, I'll pretty much probably be shutting this off or changing it up, not shutting it off, changing it up so we can just still control the humidity here in this tent, but just bring it down because we don't need 80% humidity in flower. You know, we need more around like the 50s, the 55s, and around that ballpark. That's what I like to have. But yeah, that's enough of me rambling on in this video. If you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, share, and subscribe. Until the next one, stay baked.